Hey everybody, this is one of the Mattel 6-inch Halo figures. I saw this at my local Toys R Us. It finally showed up in my region, and I was like, yoink, give me that. I wanted to check this out and see how they do on their figures. Now, the first thing to note is that obviously armor pieces are removable, and by default they give you half of the armor pieces already removed. You have to put them on to help you to appreciate exactly what you've gotten here. I went ahead and took off the main body armor as well. It's latched at 2 points around the sides, kind of around the back, and this is rubber. All these armor pieces are rubber or a very flexible plastic material. Sorry, I don't know the specific name of that material, but if you're familiar with action figures, you'll know what I'm talking about here. So this is not going to break easily, it flexes easily, that's good. Now, the figure itself, they quote 30 points of articulation. I'm not going to count them, but neck, side to side, side, up and down, pretty respectable range there for getting different looks out of it. The shoulders, of course, have everything that you could ask for from them. It's able to go out a full 90 degrees there. That's about the limit of it, but that's good. And then elbows, of course, elbow articulation comes right to there. This is a softer plastic or softer material here for the forearm. That's actually a little bit awkward that it's kind of bendable itself, you know, not intentionally. Harder plastic used for the upper arm piece. You've got rotation, of course, at the hand, and you've got an additional axis right there, so you can really cup this forward. It gives you a lot of range. And they also do include a second hand, and that's going to be used for your right hand. When you're hooking it up, you see the joint inside of there, so it just makes it easy to get a different look depending upon what type of weapon that you're going to equip in it. That is good. Continuing on here, you've got some rotation at the torso, in the center of the torso, and also the ability to bend forward, so that just gives you some good flexibility, and that's going to work with the flexibility of the chest armor piece as well. And it also kind of gives you your faux waist articulation, since they don't have actual waist articulation down lower. The upper thighs are able to splay out and in. This goes a pretty fair distance out. I wish that it was able to come up more though. Kind of limited there, just how far up the knee is able to come. Now you're able to rotate here. They have a rotation joint inside of the thigh itself to allow you to change the angle quite a bit of the orientation of the foot in general. Double jointed knee here, which gives you more room to fold that up, but it's still somewhat limited. We'll see how that goes with the armor piece there. The armor pieces don't seem to really limit your articulation there. That's good. Should check that over here as well. Maybe just a little bit of limitation. No. It's fitting right in there with the flexing of the elbow, so that's good. Plenty of room to bring this out with the armor on there, so far so good. I wish there was a little bit more range of motion, but it's not bad. And then down here for the ankle, forward and back, more than is natural, and you can also rotate that around. That is very good. Let me go ahead and put the rest of the armor pieces on here to complete this. Most of the armor pieces are pegged in addition to kind of snapping around the body part. So here we've got just a simple round peg, kind of a dowel pin system that fits in there and really helps to lock the pieces together. So it'll take me a second. It's my first time putting this back together, but yeah, so it's actually kind of locking in around the sides with the front and the back clamshelling each other together, and you have pegs from the front and the back that work together. Relative to other Halo action figures, not statues, but actual posable figures that I've seen, these ones from Mattel seem to have a thinner, sleeker, more athletic build overall. So they just don't have quite the bulk of some others. And some of the reason for that, I'm sure, is to allow the level of articulation that they have. They do seem especially skinny right at the knees, especially from the back, but I was surprised to find that this was actually pretty easy to get to just stand just straight up. I mean, obviously the feet aren't completely flat here, but it's not easily falling over. These do have peg holes on the undersides, but you do have to get those lined up just right. There we go. You may need to actually drill a hole if you want to use these in conjunction with some pegged stands, because they kind of overlap with the heel part of the sole of the shoe there, if you will. The wrist joint is a little bit on the weak side for holding this energy sword. The sword itself is beautiful. It is a little bit on the heavy side. It's definitely heavier than I expected it to be. It's got some serious thickness to it, so there's quite a bit of material there. All the other joints have plenty of friction in them, but just that one right there, I guess there are some sweet spots to it. There are some weak spots to it, all the same. But I think you can get some pretty decent poses out of this. I don't know, it's not quite as aggressive as I would have liked. The issue here is that I'm not able to bring the elbow in, rotate at the elbow to bring the arm in as far as I would like, because I would like to bring that sword more across the body, be a little bit more defensive or a little bit more forward for attacks this way rather than having it out. I think you can get better looking poses with the assault rifle. You're not able to fully shoulder it up and get the visor lined up with the top of the thing for sighting, but it gets in there pretty closely. It's pretty respectable, I think, for this level of action figure. It's not too expensive. It has pretty good range to make that work, and that hand piece, so I did swap back to the original hand piece. You can see that it has a index finger that actually goes into the trigger. So this is holding on all completely legit, completely properly. So that's all good. You can get some reach up in the air to be shooting at air targets. This here is kind of a useful pose as well, weapon ready but not readied. Unfortunately, taking a knee gets a little bit awkward because of the range of motion limitation of the thigh, just moving up and down. So that's as far up as I could get it. I started to have to kind of rotate it outward to get just tease in just a little bit more range of motion, but I really want that thigh to be able to come up farther. Then I could take better advantage of the second joint in the knee to bring that all in. But as it is, this is just as far as I can go. If I do this, then he's going to be leaning back quite a bit. And I already put some serious effort into making this go farther than I wanted to go, and you can actually see a little bit of fatigue on the plastic there from where the inner armor was starting to chafe on that just from pushing on it. So that's definitely a real world limitation. Maybe if I bring this in like this, now he's still going to be leaning back. His entire body, his spine, is going to be leaning back no matter what I do there. The set does include a couple of peg adapters. So I've got the longer one here, and they also have a shorter one that can be used in various places. As you collect more different figures, you can get side arms and such, and you can start to connect things off to the side here or here. Not there, because that's where the rump armor is supposed to go, and I did have trouble with that falling off pretty regularly. It does have the peg there, but it tends to not have enough friction. So that's something that'll just need to be scuffed up. You take this and you score some lines into it carefully with a hobby knife. That'll increase its effective size and give you some better grip there. But it's nice that they included these two accessories to give you some options of things to do. And right now I'm just going to hook up the sword to his back. This feels like a respectable deal for what you get. The number of points of articulation and axes of articulation that you get is very good. The materials feel appropriate, but I do wish that you had more range in that thigh to be able to move that forward, and also something to allow you to bring the arm across the body a little bit better, a little bit farther for just normal shouldering, but also to more effectively use that sword, to get some more aggressive stances for that. Now, you may have noticed that there was an additional piece included with this set. Well, they have one of those things going on where if you collect them all from each series, then you get something else that you can put together. So this is the main body piece for an alpha crawler, and on the back of the box they show you the different pieces that you get. So that'll actually be a pretty decent sized crawler, and here are just the other characters that are available in the series. I personally would not recommend going for all of these just to get the crawler unless you absolutely love crawlers, but you know, it's a nice thing that if you do want to collect them all, you do end up getting a bonus. So that's you know, a nice little extra thing, just not something I think that you should attempt to chase if you don't want the other figures in the series. That's it for my look at this one. I hope that that was useful for you. If you have any comments or feedback, anything that you wish I had done differently for this, please do feel free to leave your feedback in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Takedown. All rounds clear, Spartan. Simulation complete.